All right, the next form of abundance is going to be time. Free time is a gift from the universe that comes to you, and is coming to a lot of us now during these coronavirus times where we have a lot of free time on our hands. It is a primary form of abundance and must be recognized as such. There are specific tasks that you can only do when you have a lot of free and quiet time on your hands, and those tasks involve your inner work. Meditation, silence, stillness, the process of self-inquiry, going deep within yourself to root through your mind and purge out what is not in alignment with your highest good and your highest love. And this can take quite a bit of time. And if life hands you the time, but maybe you don't have a lot of money, maybe you don't have a lot of friends, but you have just enough to get by, and this happened a lot during my awakening process, is that you learn to trust the process and where it's taking you, and as long as you're doing your inner work, you will be supported. And it takes a deep level of trust to accept that. But as long as you are aware of what's going on, that the time is there for a reason and you're using it appropriately, the support will come when you need it. You just have to learn to not to want more or excess, because the imprint of greed from society is so strong today that it can often distract people from their path and their task at hand, always thinking that they have to have and make more money, when the time and the free time that you have is a primary form of abundance and should be recognized as such. Having love in your relationships is a primary and probably one of the most important forms of abundance that you can have. Now, it can mean having a lot of social connections, or it can just mean having really deep connections with a few people. It doesn't really matter. It's different for everyone. But if you have a lot of social connections, you connect with people and you are trying to manifest something. It's when the group mind, if you have 10, 20, or 50 people trying to work towards a specific task, that is always going to yield and bring much better results than only one person. So if you're blocked in your manifestation and you're always trying to do it alone, that is where the block is, and that is where you will have to make some changes. And to attract more people to what you want to manifest, you have to express yourself out into the universe. And the louder and longer you express yourself out into the universe, the more likely it is that you will attract people of like mind, of similar vibration, that will help you move forward in your direction. And they can provide more opportunities, more synchronicities, more knowledge, different perceptions, and help you out when you fall down, because that does invariably happen along the way. That those are things that you couldn't always do by yourself. And so having love in those friendships and business relationships of a high degree of truth, a high degree of honesty, and mutual respect is very, very important. Now, having a deep love in a relationship with someone in your with your family, or a couple people that are very, very close to you, is also a primary form of abundance. The reason why I consider those very deep, close family relationships, or very, very close friendships, a primary form of abundance, is because the deeper you go and the longer you go into those relationships, the more and deeper they mirror back to you the fractured aspects of yourself that you haven't integrated. And when you are able to integrate these really, really deep parts into you, that allows you to hold very, very high vibrational frequency energies of love in the form of devotion, surrender, compassion, forgiveness, and humility. And these are very, very high frequencies of love to hold within the body and emanate out into the universe. And when you are trying to manifest something into your life, you want to manifest it from the highest vibrational frequency possible that you can. And so these deep connections that you have with your family, your spouse, or if you really trust deep friends, are a primary form of abundance. And so what I want to say here is that just learning to have a simple life with the basics of good food, shelter, and close relationships with a few people or friends in your life, that's really all you need. You don't need a lot more than that. And if you feel like you are needing to have a bigger and larger life, you have to make sure that it's coming from a place of wanting to serve the greater good. Not just, I think my life will be better and I'll be more happy if I'm more successful, because that kind of thinking really doesn't work when you're trying to manifest something. You have to come from an honest desire to serve the collective. And the greater your desire to serve the collective, the greater your manifesting power will be. Okay, the last form of abundance primary form of abundance I want to talk about is freedom. And this is the paradox. It's not really a paradox, but it's a distorted perception that a lot of people seem to think that you need to have a lot of money to be free to do what you want when you want. And that is not the case all the time. Some of the times it might be, but most of the time it's not. Making your freedom dependent on a future circumstance that may or may not come to you is a way of giving your power away. It's a way of putting you way out of the present moment into some future reality that doesn't meet the present. And really, the present moment is the only place you can really experience freedom. So what is freedom? Freedom is just the ability to recognize when your fears are controlling you and to make the choice to not let that be so. Freedom is an inner state of being that does require your awareness of the choice in the situation, but it is your choice and it does come from inside of you, and it is not dependent on any external circumstance, especially having certain amounts of money. There's always another way to get to where you want to go if your mind is open enough. So having inner freedom allows you to follow your higher guidance and to trust your higher guidance, because it's going to take you into places that may be uncomfortable. But if you can have this inner freedom and just be free and not let your fears lock you down in decisions that are not in your best interests, this is a very, very important form of primary abundance and should not be underestimated as such. In every interaction, there must be an equal exchange of energy. So it's giving and receiving. You give, you receive, and you balance out the energy flow within you and outside of you, and it keeps the energy flowing. And when you stop giving or stop receiving, that blocks the flow of energy. But in this energy exchange, the physical representation of that energy exchange is money. It is just one of the representations of that. So when you're looking to manifest abundance in your life, look at all of the categories that I just talked about and see where you might have a little bit of a deficiency. Because if you start to manifest and look at these other forms of abundance in your life, they can take you in pathways and bring you opportunities and synchronicities that would not otherwise come to you if you were only focused on money. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope you liked the video, and this one I did write an in-depth article on. It's on my website, so check it out if you like. I'll put the link below, and much love to everyone out there. Take care.